Look at this aloe vera. Sad, stuck, not a single pup in sight. Now look at this one. Bursting, thick leaves, pups everywhere, practically spilling out of the pot. Same plant, same species. So what's the difference? One spice, sitting in your kitchen right now. And no, it's not some fancy fertilizer. It's not a chemical you've never heard of. It's something you've probably used in your baking and never once thought to put in your soil. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how professional nurseries use this one ingredient to force aloe vera into producing pup after pup after pup. But here's the catch. Use it the wrong way, and it does absolutely nothing. So stick with me, because by the end of this video, your aloe vera is going to look completely different. Let's get into it. Here's something most people get completely wrong about aloe vera. They see those thick, juicy leaves, and they think, this plant must be thirsty. So they water it, a lot, every few days, sometimes even daily, because it just feels like the right thing to do. But that one assumption, it's the single biggest reason aloe vera plants stop growing, stop thriving, and almost never produce pups. Let me explain why. Aloe vera is a succulent, and succulents are basically nature's water bottles. They store moisture directly in their leaves, which means their roots don't need constant watering. In fact, they need the opposite. They need to dry out between waterings. So when you keep that soil damp, day after day, here's what's actually happening underground. Completely out of sight, the roots start sitting in moisture they were never designed to handle. And moisture, combined with no airflow, creates the perfect environment for fungus to take hold. Once fungus moves in, the roots begin to weaken. Some turn soft, some turn dark, and the plant senses it. It knows something is wrong. And here's the part that really matters. When an aloe vera plant feels threatened, it shifts into survival mode. Every bit of energy it has goes toward just staying alive. Not growing, not reproducing, just surviving. Which means pups, they're not even on the table. Your plant isn't being lazy. It's not being stubborn. It's fighting to survive. And pups are the last thing on its mind. Maybe this sounds familiar. You've got an aloe vera that you genuinely care about. You check on it. You water it whenever the soil looks a little dry. You're doing everything you think a good plant parent should do. And yet, month after month, it just sits there. Same size, same number of leaves, 0 pups. That's not bad luck. That's a plant stuck in survival mode. And no amount of love or attention is going to fix it, until the actual root problem, quite literally, gets solved. So if watering more isn't the answer, what is? This is where it gets interesting. Because the fix isn't about giving your aloe vera more of anything. It's about protecting what's already there, and giving the roots a reason to stop defending and start expanding again. And the tool for that, it's not in a garden center. It's not some specialty product you've never heard of. It's sitting in your spice cabinet right now. And in just a moment, I'm going to show you exactly what it is, and exactly how to use it. All right, it's time to reveal it. The ingredient that professional nurseries use, the one that can completely change the way your aloe vera grows, is cinnamon. Yes, the same cinnamon you sprinkle on toast. The same jar sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now. I know what you might be thinking. That's it, a spice, but stay with me. Because once you understand what cinnamon actually does to a plant's root system, you'll never look at that little jar the same way again. Cinnamon isn't just a flavor. It's a natural fungicide. It's a natural antibacterial agent. And on top of that, it acts as a rooting stimulant. That's 3 powerful functions. In one ingredient you probably already own. Here's how it works. Remember the fungus problem we talked about in the last chapter? the one that takes hold when soil stays too damp, cinnamon creates an invisible barrier against exactly that. When you apply it to the soil, you're essentially building a protective shield that stops fungal spores before they can ever take root. Literally. But it goes even further than just protection. Cinnamon also sends a biological signal to the plant. It tells the aloe vera, the threat is handled, it's safe now. And once that threat is gone, the plant doesn't need to stay in survival mode anymore. It can finally redirect its energy towards something else, toward growth, toward expansion, toward producing pups. This is exactly why professional nurseries use cinnamon on cuttings and freshly divided plants. It's cheap, it's natural, and it works in a way that most synthetic products simply can't replicate. Now, here's the part most people get wrong. And this is important. Cinnamon isn't magic dust that you just dump on top of the soil and forget about. How you apply it, how much you use, and when you use it, that's what actually determines whether this works or does absolutely nothing. Too little. And it won't create enough of a barrier to matter. Too much. And you'll actually suffocate the roots, which we'll talk about later, because that mistake is more common than you'd think. So before you go grab that jar of cinnamon from your kitchen, I want to walk you through this properly. There are actually two different methods, depending on the current state of your aloe vera. One is for plants that just need a little protective maintenance. No repotting required. The other is far more powerful. It's specifically designed for plants you're repotting, or plants that are mature but still aren't producing pups. This is the method that creates that explosion of growth we're after. Let's start with the first one, because chances are, you can apply this to your plant today, right after this video. This first method is perfect if your aloe vera is sitting in its pot right now, and you're not ready to repot it, or you simply don't need to yet. It's quick, it's low effort, and you can do it today. Start by taking a close look at the base of your plant, right where the stem meets the soil. What does the surface look like? If you notice the soil looks compacted, almost crusty, or if it has a slightly whitish tint, that's a warning sign. It usually means moisture has been sitting there longer than it should, and fungus may already be starting to form, even if you can't see it clearly yet. Don't worry if that's the case. This is exactly the problem we're about to fix. Here's what you're going to do. Grab pure cinnamon powder. And I want to stress that word, pure. Not the cinnamon sugar blend you'd use for baking, just plain ground cinnamon. That distinction matters, because sugar in the soil can actually attract pests and feed the very fungus we're trying to eliminate. Take a generous tablespoon of cinnamon and scatter it around the entire base of the plant. Don't just sprinkle a little on one side. Cover the surface evenly, going all the way around the stem. Once that's done, take a small stick. A chopstick works perfectly, and gently work the cinnamon into the top layer of soil. You're not digging deep here, just enough to get it into the first inch or so. This helps the cinnamon actually reach the area where moisture tends to collect, instead of just sitting on top where it'll wash away with the next watering. Now, why does this step matter so much? Because cinnamon acts like a healing agent for the plant. If there's any tiny damage to the roots, even microscopic cuts you'd never notice, from too much water or just normal stress, the cinnamon seals those wounds. It stops rot from spreading any further. Almost like a natural disinfectant for your plant's root system. Think of it as giving your aloe vera a clean slate. You're not just adding something to the soil, you're actively protecting the roots that are already there, while creating an environment where new growth finally has a chance. And here's the best part. This method requires zero disruption to your plant. No repotting. No stress on the roots from being pulled out and handled. Just a simple, protective boost that you can repeat every few months as part of your regular care routine. But if your aloe vera is more mature, if it's been sitting at the same size for what feels like forever, or if you're already planning to repot it, This next method is where things get really powerful, because this is the one that's specifically designed to trigger that explosion of pups we've been talking about. Let's get into it. This is the method, the one that actually triggers that explosion of pups we've been talking about since the very start of this video. This technique works best in one of two situations. Either you're repotting your aloe vera anyway, or you've got a plant that's clearly mature, healthy looking even, but for whatever reason, it's just not reproducing. If that sounds like your plant, pay close attention, because this could completely change things. Start by gently removing your aloe vera from its pot. Take your time here. Loosen the soil around the edges first. Then, carefully ease the plant out, trying not to tear at the roots. Once it's out, look closely at the root system. This is the moment of truth. Healthy roots are usually firm and pale, but if you spot any roots that are black, mush, or soft to the touch, those roots are dead. They're not coming back. And honestly, they're doing more harm than good by staying attached. Don't be afraid to cut them off. Take sterilized scissors and remove every single dead root you find. Yes, it might feel a little intimidating the first time, like you're hurting the plant, but trust me, you're doing the opposite. You're giving it room to actually heal and grow. Now here's where the real transformation happens. Take your cinnamon and completely coat the base of the plant, not just a light dusting. This time, you're covering the entire root area, including every spot where you just made a cut. Think of it as wrapping the plant's wounds in a natural, protective layer. This single step does two things at once. First, it wipes out any fungal spores that might still be lingering in the old soil, the kind that could have reinfected fresh roots all over again. Second, and this is the part that really matters, the cinnamon sends that biological signal we talked about earlier. It tells the plant, you're safe now. It's time to grow. That signal is everything. It's the moment your aloe vera shifts out of survival mode and starts redirecting its energy towards something new, toward expansion, toward pups. Once the base is fully coated, it's time to repot. And the soil you choose here matters more than people realize. Go for something well-draining. Ideally a mix of regular potting soil with river sand or perlite mixed in. Aloe vera genuinely hates feeling waterlogged, even for a short time. So this step protects everything you just did. As for placement, give your plant plenty of bright light. But if it's young or recently repotted, try to avoid that harsh, direct midday sun, especially in hotter climates. A few weeks of gentler light will help it settle in without added stress. Do this correctly, and within weeks, you'll start noticing something different. The color deepens, the leaves thicken, and eventually, right at the base, those first tiny pups start pushing their way up toward the light. But before you run off and grab that cinnamon jar, there's one mistake I need to warn you about, because it's incredibly common and it can undo everything we just covered. All right, here's that mistake I promised to warn you about. People get excited. I get it. You finally have a solution that actually works. So the instinct is to go all in, and that's exactly where things go wrong. I've seen it happen so many times. Instead of a thin, even layer of cinnamon, people pile it on thick, almost like they're frosting a cake. It ends up looking like a hard, crusty layer sitting right on top of the soil, almost like cement. And here's the problem with that. Soil needs to breathe. Roots need oxygen just as much as they need protection. When you bury everything under a thick cake of cinnamon, you're sealing the surface so tightly that air simply can't get through anymore. So instead of helping your aloe vera, you're accidentally suffocating it. So remember this, a thin layer is all you need. Just enough to lightly dust the surface and work into that top layer of soil. That's it. More cinnamon doesn't mean more protection. It just means less oxygen for those roots that are trying to recover. Now, the next question I get asked constantly is, how often should you actually be doing this? And here's some good news. This isn't something that needs weekly attention. In fact, doing it too often can be just as counterproductive as using too much cinnamon at once. The simplest rule to follow is this. Apply it every time you repot your aloe vera. And outside of repotting, doing it once every 3 months as a maintenance routine is more than enough to keep seeing results. That's it. No complicated schedule. No daily rituals. Just a little bit of consistency every few months. One more thing before we move on. And this is something a lot of people don't think about until it happens to them. Once your aloe vera starts producing pups, and trust me, it will, eventually those little pups grow big enough that they start crowding each other, practically bumping into one another in the pot. When you see that happening, it's time to separate them. And when you do, don't skip this step. Use the exact same cinnamon technique on the cut, both on the mother plant, right where the pup was attached, and on the pup itself, right at its base. This protects both plants from infection during what's honestly a pretty vulnerable moment for each of them, and it gives them the best possible chance to root and thrive independently. Do this consistently, and what you'll end up with isn't just one healthy aloe vera. It's an entire collection. Plants that look like something straight out of a professional nursery. All thanks to one spice sitting in your kitchen. And that transformation, it's closer than you think. So let's bring this all together. The secret to a giant aloe vera, bursting with pups, was never about spending more money on fancy fertilizers. It was sitting in your kitchen the whole time. All it ever needed was a little protection, and the right signal to finally stop surviving and start growing. Picture this. 3 weeks from now, you walk over to your aloe vera, the same one that's been sitting there, stuck, for months. And this time, it's different. The leaves are thicker, the color is deeper, and right there, at the base, you spot it. A tiny green pup, pushing its way up toward the light. That moment, that's what this is all about. If this video helped you, dome a favor. Hit that like button and share it with someone you know who's been struggling with their aloe vera too. They need to see this. And if you want more practical, no nonsense plant tips like this one, subscribe and turn on that notification bell. Now, comment below. My aloe is going to explode with pups. Let's see how many of you are ready for this transformation. Take care of your plants. Enjoy the process. And I'll see you in the next gardening adventure.